Yeah, so welcome to the Leicester Fan TV match
Match
isn't it?
preview, not
Don't
the
forget
podcast,
where
mate.
we are with all of it. Yeah, we've got Brighton coming up on Saturday, another big match. We just beat Liverpool 3-0. Really, where do you see it going? Let's be honest. What do you think we're going to get out of Brighton, knowing how we've been playing and knowing that nothing's probably going to change this weekend?
Um, Again, you got obviously yesterday when we were in the car on the way to London, we were saying about something needs to change now. After the Forest game, we had the chances, didn't put them away. I think the first thing for me is Barnes has to get dropped. You've got to go two up front, and Rodgers now. If we don't get to the point of being in a relegation battle, he has to change something. As much as we're in a bit of a danger now, we've got to be changing to move forward. And if we don't, we might as well be already relegated because we're just not changing something to prove ourselves, to keep ourselves in the Premier League, really.
Yeah, as much as fans might be in denial themselves, we're in a relegation battle this season. And there's nothing that says we are going to get out of it at the moment. We are 2 points from being in the bottom three.
Mm-hmm.
If we lose to Brighton and the results go the other way, I know that I think West Ham are playing Everton. That's a 6 pointer for them too. We could easily be in the bottom three, if not dead last this weekend. And I can't see us. I can't see why we wouldn't be. There's not a lot that's going to change. We've all said like this is the team that should be playing. We also found some of the drops, give a natural start for him, give Iverson a chance in goal, but we all know it's just not going to happen. More will be in goal, advance will be on the wing at this weekend. So there's not much that's going to change personally. I think going into this match from when we lost 2-0 to Forest, I think play the same tactics, we'll lose 5 or 6-0 to Brighton because they're on fire.
Well, yeah, they literally only just beat Liverpool 3-0 at home, and we all know Brighton's going to be a hard game. But even if we fight and we lose 1-0, as long as the performance is there and the fight is in that team, I won't mind. And I'm saying to Phil that if we completely changed the team and we still lost, you'd still be happy with it because there was some change in there to try and maybe get a result.
Again, it depends. If we change the team around, it's a step better. But if we're still playing passing around the back, it's still stubborn tactics. It's still Rodgers playing the way he wants to play. Changing the team doesn't. We've seen it when he puts two strikers up front and we still play the passing around the back. It's pointless. There's no point in changing the tactics. Changing the team if we don't change the tactics alongside it. We can have a completely different starting 11 against Brighton. Because we can have some youth players in there, Nacho for an Iverson. But if we're still passing it around the back, for me, it's still not going to work. Our biggest Achilles heel at the moment isn't at injuries. It's Rodgers not playing to play his strengths like Daka and Viola. They're all shoving the ball up front, pass it through, tapping goals. That's how they do it, one-on-ones with the keepers. And we just don't play that way. But that's what we've got. If you don't suit the players you've got, what else can you do as a manager? You need to actually change the ideas if it's not working.
Yeah, Scott here says Barnes clearly out of form. I read the other day that versus Forest had like 6 chances until the end. Well, he was at the end of 4 of them, set 2 of us up and not scoring. I think on another day, them sort of shots probably would go in. But at the moment, with the position we're in, it just seems like we're just so unlucky in getting the ball in the net. The Vardy one against Newcastle, yes, we're 2-0 down, but normally he finishes them. Barnes has 2 pretty much goal chances and he still misses them. And that's how it is at the moment. I think we just need a bit of luck going our way, I guess. Even if it's a deflection like it was against Forest.
I'd say just being more clinical. It doesn't take luck. You don't need luck to win games. You need skill and tactics and actual performance. And yeah, you might get lucky in some games, but I think you actually have to play what we like. We've got Brighton as our next game. We know how they're going to come and play. They're going to come and attack us. They're going to push our defence because they know we're going to pass it around the back. If I was Rodgers, I'd just say, right, they're going to push us, attack us. When you get the ball, just shoot it right up front. There'll be Vardy, Daka, Iheanacho, whoever's up top, just swing it to them, give them one-on-one chances and put it away. I think you just got to play, like I say, to your strengths, and our strength isn't passing around the back. We're not Man City. We don't have the players that could do it. One of Man City's centre-back, probably Ruben Diaz, whether he's cost more than our entire back four, so it doesn't work for our side, and I don't know what Rodgers thinks he see. In all honesty, I don't know what top is doing himself. I don't know why he's giving Rodgers a chance, and if he is giving him a chance, then give him the money to do it. But he's not giving him the money to do it. So again, it's just a never-ending circle. If you don't sack Rodgers, you're backing, but we're not backing.
Yeah, that is the problem. And like we saw yesterday, it's a bit of a side note from the Brighton game, but a player on the way to London, we had a player linked to Leicester City, apparently contract talks, all that stuff. Get out of the car. Oh, he's not at the club, and he's gone to a completely different club. I just don't get how quick transfers can go from Leicester in talks to he signed for a different club. He obviously was nowhere near Leicester, and somehow we've been linked to him. And there's just going to be so many different players linked to us. It's just not going to come out anymore. Like say that Nico Gonzalez, who, like you said, their president or wherever it said that they couldn't come, and I'm guessing he won't want to come anyway with how we are now. But your dad did say loans. That is our way to try and stay in the Prem, because if we can get to this summer, and even Jake next to me said that if we can get to the summer, that is our chance to then go for it next season. But the problem is we've got to get to the summer, and the way we're playing isn't going to happen.
You look at the teams we've got next. I don't want to sound negative or anything, but in the next 5 games we'll be dead last if we keep playing the way we are.
Yes.
The way we're playing, the teams we've got coming up, there is no way. If you look at the teams that are around us, they're picking up points. The teams around us are picking up some points here and there. We're just picking up nothing. Since the World Cup, we've scored 1 goal, minus the 2 own goals I scored. We've scored 1 actual goal in the past, 4 or 5 games. Not even like we were scoring goals fine at the start of the season, but now we can't even put them in the net. And that is hugely part to Madison not being in the team or not.
Oh yeah,
but you've got to play what you've got.
Yeah, exactly. And the only thing that I'm gonna point out, and I said to you yesterday, and as much as you probably don't agree with me, I think if the only saving grace or hope we've got is the injuries coming back, because we've got quite a few coming back in the next month or two. And as much as they are still injury-prone players and whatnot, we've still got a lot of high quality coming back that we haven't had in the past. Someone like Ricardo, maybe in the last few months of the season, he can prove a bit more experience in the team.
They're just injury-prone.
Oh yeah, we can't deny that they might get injured again, but
look, Ricardo's been out for the best part of 2 years.
They could feel like new signings though at this point.
I don't think so. I know what you mean, but they wouldn't feel like new signings. To me, they feel like anything could happen. You could, push over Ricardo and he could be out again from the great ones with a knee injury or whatever he's got. So I think I don't want to rush these players back. If they're not ready to play, they're not ready to play. But for me, just make signings. It's not hard to do this. I know the financial fair play, and Tom was talking about it on the Phil show on Monday. It's where we don't have enough money coming in to sign these players because we've already got 25 plus players on 8k a week. Ridiculous money, but that's down to the club's fault. Again, like I've been saying a few times, if we can't afford to sack Rodgers, don't give him a big contract to begin with. I know King Power's been hit hard from COVID, but a lot of businesses have. They're still multi-billionaires. They can still shift some money into the club. And I know a lot of fans probably don't like to hear people say anything about Tottenham and that, because they've been good owners over the years. But I am genuinely concerned that they've lost interest and they don't really, not really fussed about what's happening in Leicester. They're more fussed about what's happening at, the King Power in itself. So there's
so many issues going on. Again, you can blame Rodgers all you like. There's so many issues, like say injuries. Why are we getting so many injuries? because we've got a £1 billion training ground just sitting there. How we're getting injuries left, right, and centre. Teams it's not working really, is it? And even Scott says here he's desperate to see natural top with Vardy or Daka. We all are, because every time, even if it's the last 20 minutes, the moment we have 2 strikers up top, even if it's the same tactics, it always seems to be a bit more like aggressive and a bit more on the ball when we've got them 2 up top, or whichever 2 they are. We seem to always have a few more chances in the last 10 to 20 minutes than we do in the whole game, because all we're doing before that is passing around the back, and it's just boring. Anyone else think concerned about the lack of Madison injury, complete absence of the timeline? That's the thing. I was saying yesterday that a lot of players normally just get times where they're like 2 or 3 weeks for this injury, a month or two for that injury. We've literally been given. We don't know how long he's going to take.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you what's happening with Madison. I don't think anyone can. It would be nice if the club came out and said something, but I think that's just the tip of the iceberg of what's going wrong with Leicester. They're not even telling us what's wrong with not even one our best player at the club. They're not saying what's wrong with him. I mean, we said this about Bertrand. He's been out for a year, but they're still not telling us when he's been back on. I'm not saying he goes into the first team, but over Luke Thomas, he definitely goes.
Oh yeah, by mile, yeah.
So I'm not sure what Leicester staff are doing. We heard rumours that it's all really toxic behind the scenes, as far as we know. That everyone's falling out of everyone. No one's really liking anyone at the club at the moment. All the back end staff and the owners are all falling out with everyone. So there's only so much we see as fans on the pitch, but it all correlates to everything that's wrong with the club. And we've said for ages that there is a giant mess going on at the moment behind the scenes at us.
Yeah, maybe later on the results are still poor, then we'll have to sack him. But not convinced the club are going to go sign anyone at the moment. But that's the thing. It's like, as much as you want Rodgers gone, you've either got to back him with the players or you've got to get rid of him now, because you're in the window. You either bring someone else in and get their players in.
We're not going to bring anyone in. I think we might be looking to get one loan player in this window, because it's already the 18th.
That just shows the intent of trying to stay in the Premier League, doesn't it? Like,
Chelsea signed two, £80 million players this window, and I know obviously they're going to have a better financial fair play than us, but I don't see where. I just don't understand where we literally have no money to do anything. And I tell you what, it's going to cost us a lot more money to be in the Championship with the players we've got, the less sponsorship deals and stuff. It's a tough one, but I don't want to talk about getting relegated. But we are 2 points off bottom.
But that's where now, like I say, they are crucial games, because as much as they are going to be hard games, we know we can beat them on their day, but we just have to perform against them, because otherwise we are going to, in 5 games' time, we'll be smack bang on bottom of the table, 3 or 4 points adrift, and then you've got to be playing all the games that we should be winning, but in form related, we shouldn't be getting anywhere.
Really tough fixtures.
Yes.
I think our next easy game, not even after Brighton, is Southampton. And I think in between them we have Brighton this weekend, Spurs maybe, I'm not sure, and Arsenal.
Yeah, Villa as well.
Villa, we've got all these teams coming up, and I know you have to play every team twice, it's just how it happens. But,
like on a day, we can always beat them, but the way we're playing at the moment, we've got no hope in getting any points.
When you talked about Fulham when we lost them last week, usually
you'd go into that game thinking we should win this game.
People saying we can win this game easy at home.
It's even Brighton. Brighton a few years ago, you'd be like, yeah, fair enough, we can win that.
If we were still playing how we were, for us here, to get something out of Brighton. For me, against Brighton, it's a 3 points. If we don't get 3 points against Brighton, it's.
But all I want to point out is this graphic. They've got a new manager from Potter and how they were playing. Now coming to, I can't remember his name, but their manager. Look at how well he's done from coming in.
Well, it's a new manager bounce back, isn't it? Brighton had a really good team, and obviously that was shown because Potter got the move to Chelsea. So it wasn't like they Brighton lost other players; they just lost the manager. But he's come in; he's done a really good job with them. Probably people say they lost Potter for the better. He was a good manager, but the new Brighton manager's doing really well. I think we do need a new manager bounce back. I'd take anyone. Sean Dyche, honestly, I know some fans aren't convinced of him, but he's a relegation scrap manager. For me, Rodgers, has he ever been in a relegation scrap?
No, I just feel like it's either people want to. Because if you think like you're bringing someone like Sean Dyche in, you feel like you're going backwards, I guess. But that is the case if you want to stay in the Premier League.
We're going to be relegated at this rate. Rodgers has never been in a relegation battle. He's too stubborn to change the team. For me, I'd bring in someone who knows how to get, keeps a vibe on this.
I don't know, actually. Jake's just mentioned Rodgers getting relegated with Swansea. I'm not too sure. I think he left Swansea, not got relegated. But either way, just before we end the live, what are you predicting for the score to be on this weekend? You're not going to be there, obviously. You've got all plans, but what are you hoping for while you're not there?
I mean, I don't really know where to start with Brighton. What do you say? If we play like we did against Forest, 4-5-0 Brighton, I think it's as simple as that. if we change the team around, again, I can tell you better an hour before kickoff. If the team lineup's different, I might have a different opinion. But if I see the same lineup against Forest, I'm going to be like, well, I think it's just an easy win for Brighton again.
Well, like I say, if you see the likes of Bond in there, you see the likes of
Barnes,
Ward,
just the typical.
Amasi.
There's nothing that's physically changing in the team. It's just we might as well just not go to the match really, because you think it's just playing to lose.
Yeah, I guess I'll predict. I just feel like I can only predict a lot at this stage. But I'm gonna be positive. I'm gonna go for a 2-1. But I'm not too confident on the game because, like I say, they just beat Liverpool 3-0 when we only lost to them because of 2 own goals. So appreciate you all joining. Thanks for getting your comments in. All week Barnes should be thinking I've got to prove myself on Saturday. Otherwise he's done. Well, he should be doing that the last 4 or 5 weeks. He should be doing that every single week since he's been playing. He shouldn't be doing it now because he missed 2 chances against Forest. Now he deserves to get dropped and hopefully then comes back in and then proves himself because he shouldn't be in this team at the moment. And then Steve Shabba says Desmond Tutu, so you can guess you know what that means. But yeah, and then Bane Cross says 3-1 all Brighton. So yeah, appreciate you coming on, and we'll catch you for the watch along on Saturday. Cheers.